Well, I was writing pieces from elementary school, and when I was 15, 16, I imagined that when I got to be about 50, I'd start writing more. What I didn't understand was that as I got into my 30s, I began to understand that writing was actually where all the juice is. That even if I'm a better player than writer, writing's actually more interesting. And so I've just let I've let my curiosity guide me more than anything. And the writing feels like something that the act of doing it actually inspires more of doing it. Well, I would say in the last 5 years, whenever I would be writing a piece involving soloists, like the piece that Nashville was involved with Joshua Bell, which was for Joshua and myself with orchestra, I found that I was having the most fun on the tutti sections, where Josh and I were not there. And it was kind of like, what's wrong with this picture? I was realizing that was starting to really draw me in and become something that I wanted to spend time with. So I suggested it to Giancarlo, and he was gracious enough to enable it. The evolution of process for me is something that's been going on my entire life, in fits and starts, and it goes off on a tangent, but there is a thread, and that thread recently has been increasingly interested in just things that might be the essence of how a piece works, or just literally the ideas, and maybe slightly less interested in exactly how it works on the instrument. And so I guess a higher percentage of the process became about teasing out those ideas and exploring that more completely. But I hope not at the expense of how the piece plays. I want to bring my experience as a player to bear also, in terms of having some idea of what it takes to communicate some of what I want to bring out in this piece. Well, when I moved here in 1984 in January, that month I auditioned for Kenneth Schermerhorn, and for the next few years, I think 3 years, I'm not exactly sure, I played on all the subscription concerts as a member of the bass section. A personal detail that is completely significant is that I grew up in East Tennessee, as did Jeff Bailey, the principal trumpet player. And we both remember, even back in high school, we'd both attend All-State Orchestra, and I might write a piece and get all the brass players to read through it. And I always admired and loved Jeff's playing, and always, kind of had him, playing lead on that stuff. And then I even remember our last year of high school, or at least my last year, he and I were both also in the All-State Jazz Band, and I was playing piano, and he had this beautiful trumpet solo that I remember because they made a disc of it. We had it was vinyl, certainly didn't have CDs back then. And so I used to love putting that on and listening to Jeff play that solo. So it turns out that early in the conception of this piece, there is a 1-minute trumpet solo for Mr. Bailey. And it's just trumpet and drums. It's not military in particular, but it certainly, trumpet and drums evokes what it evokes. And very much looking forward to hearing Jeff play that.